Yes. Hello, my beautiful friends. It is an amazing day. Let's let those tubes warm themselves up before we jump on into it, because bright and early this morning, lunchtime for those of you on the East Coast, and a different time of day for those of you joining us from outside the United States, all across the world, guess who is here joining us? El Presidente, Mr. Trump, is out there with a Latino event, and let's listen in.
You can just by the fact you say close.
Human trafficking is what the subject is.
That's it. Very simple. You don't need all of this nonsense that they
Live out of Miami.
But the truth is, for some reason, and I can't figure it out, for some reason they want open borders. Nobody's been able to tell me why. I don't think they can tell you why.
That's too many reasons. I'll let the president finish.
The election. I'm so glad you brought up. You said 300, but the number's actually 325. I'll give you a number that's really bad too. So the Border Patrol, because they've had it, they've never done this before. They released a list of criminals in our country.
Yeah,
they really are tremendously good if you let them do the job, like I let them do the job. We have 13,099, exactly 13. During their term, they tried to say, "Oh, this is over 40 years now." This is during their 3.5 year that they've been there. 13,099 murderers. These are murderers. These are people that were in prison.
Let go.
And they're murderers. Some are up for the death penalty, but some killed far more than one person. 13,099. It's the exact number. Every one of them has been released into the United States of America. Then you have the drug lords and the drug dealers. There are thousands of them. Then you have the traffickers, the human traffickers. These are people that largely were in jail, caught. Then you have the gang members. These are people that weren't in jail, but they ruled the cities. They ruled the cities, the gangs, they ruled them. You don't have them, Christian Durrell, for the most part. If you did, you'd do something about it very quickly. We're lucky. But these are gang members that are so violent. And you see it's happening in Aurora, in Colorado, where you have a governor who's a radical left governor who's petrified of the whole situation. And they have military-style weapons. They have weapons that are of military quality. Somebody said it might be a step up. It's called a military supreme. They have weapons and they're taking over apartment complexes and everything.
In Colorado, just a few though.
Largely.
Not a lot.
What's happening to our country it's so crazy. Nobody would think it. You sit here and you're just amazed. As you speak, you get angrier and angrier because it's so simple and it's so obvious and everyone knows it's true and nobody does anything about it. All they think about is transgender operations. All they think about is we want men to play in women's sports. I've never met a person, because I'm a sports guy, I've never met a person that came up to me and they say, "We want men to play in women's sports."
Well, have you met Tim Walz, Mr. President?
Has anyone here ever met? I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been talking about this for a while because I'm ending it on day one. Ending it. And we, despite a whole web of things, we wouldn't accept it. But we're going to just end it. But has anyone ever had anyone? You have all these great politicians up here. Carlos, has anyone come up to you and say, "We insist on having men play in women's sports"? I saw a volleyball match this weekend where a man who transitioned, this is the way, I'm very politically correct now because you lose your whole, you lose in
everything,
politics.
yeah.
If you say slightly off,
yeah, they'll just
a man who transitioned
chop you right off there,
into, congratulations, a woman, hit a ball. He was like 4 feet up in the air. He smashed a ball so hard that these young ladies that were all top players, they said, "We've never seen anything." They hit her on the head.
Like that scene
people
with
have been
Ben
very
Stiller.
badly hurt in that sport and in other sports. Swimming, the records, it's ridiculous. The records are being broken by numbers that nobody's even thought possible. The greatest is weightlifting. Weightlifting records. Take a look at some of these records where a record that stood for 18 years
Rose
and it put
crushing.
an eighth of an ounce.
Arnold out there.
And these guys are walking, breaking it. It's so sick that you actually say they hate our country. But
well, they hate the standard definitions, right?
You got to. We want to really fight hard.
Disintegrate.
I don't think so. So
the current societal norms.
There's a sickness going on in our country. We have to end the sickness, and we have to start because she's a radical left. She was in She was one of the leaders, the one I'm running against. You're all running against somebody, but the one I'm running against, she was in favor of defund the police. She was one of the starters of defund. Now, once you have that ideology, even for a week or a day, you shouldn't be president.
No.
Because if you want to defund the police, even for a day, you shouldn't be
She
president.
raised money to get him
And
out.
she was one of the leaders. I just want to leave it at that. Would anybody else like to say anything? Bob, would you like to say something?
Sure, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Give a Latino a microphone.
Give a Latino a microphone?
I can't believe your courage, your fight. And I know why you're doing this. You're not doing it for anything but because you love this country.
All right.
You love us.
He does. Yes. All right. So good stuff. All right. So this is a Latino Americans for Trump. Latino Americans for Trump. Not, you can tell it's not a Democrat event because in the Democrat events, it's Latinx. Latinx is for Trump. Latinxes. That, which might be why they're having a little bit of a difficult time with the Hispanic community so far. Now, I think this event has been going for about an hour, so we're probably getting close to wrapping it up. It's 12:06 over there in Miami. Let's see where we're at.
Poet.